Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another weekend of GTA Online. This week, the Pegasi Zorrusso is now available for you for a small price of almost $2 million. But fear not, because if you didn't make enough money last week, then this week will be another opportunity of making some very fat stacks. If you don't like to do anything in passive businesses, and you're someone who likes to do contact missions or the Doomsday Heist finale, then it's definitely a great week for you, because there is double cash and RP in both. Yes, you heard it right, in both contact missions and in the Doomsday Heist finale, there is double cash and RP. But if you're someone who doesn't like either of those two things and would much rather play Deadline or the casino story missions, then those are double cash and RP as well. But if you are someone that does like to make money, then the Doomsday Heist finale is the place to go for you. Obviously, that does mean that you will have to go through all the setups and all the prep missions first before you actually get to the double cash and RP. And by the way, to make this extra clear, the Doomsday Heist I'm talking about is act number 3. Obviously, you want to be doing this with 2 players for maximum profit, and you should be rolling in a lot of fat stacks very quickly, especially if you know what you're doing. If you're someone that doesn't really have a competent person to play the Doomsday Heist with, then you could also decide to go for contact missions, which as always are some very good money as well. Podium vehicle for this week is the Vapid Kara 4x4. Ironically enough, it's also on sale this week, but we'll get into that right now, because the discounts for this week is 50% off facilities, add-ons and upgrades, also 50% off high-end apartments and renovations, and for vehicles there's 30% off the Vortex, 35% off the Oppressor Mark II, the Gargoyle, the Coochie Drag, the Baddie, and the Kara 4x4. And as I mentioned before, you can win this at the wheel this week, so if you don't already have it, give the wheel a few tries before you actually go out and buy it. 40% off the Autog, the Entity XF, the Entity XXR, the Tyrant, the Kula, the Kajali, the Truster, and the Adventure. For Twitch Prime, there is 85% off the Savage and 80% off the Vision. And in addition to that, there's also a full rebate if you purchase the Fort Zancudo hangar $34.99 or the Lago Zancudo bunker, which basically means that if you purchase them, you'll get your money back, as well as an additional 10% off all the regular discounts as well. And if you're not yet familiar with Twitch Prime and you want to know more about it, I'll leave an eye in the sky that will guide you to a video that I have done on it. And if you already are an active Twitch Prime member and not yet using your Twitch Prime subscription on your favorite streamer, then by all means feel free to consider me by clicking the link in the description down below. And if you want advice for discounts this week, personally I'd say if you don't already own a facility, then it's definitely worth picking up. However, do keep in mind there's 2 things about these facilities. You need to own a facility in order to even be able to play the Doomsday Heist, but you don't actually need to own it in order to join someone else who is currently hosting the Doomsday Heist. So if you don't have money for a facility or don't really feel like spending money on it, then having a friend invite you to the Doomsday Heist will give you the exact same rewards as you would be getting if you host the heist yourself. In terms of vehicles, obviously the Oppressor Mark II, you've probably seen it around free roam from time to time, and the majority of people that will be buying this thing have probably been waiting until it goes on discount. Keep in mind though that if you want to actually store your Oppressor Mark II, you need to buy a terabyte, and in order to buy a terabyte you need to have a nightclub. So you're probably looking into quite a hefty investment outside of the Oppressor Mark II itself as well. So do keep that in mind if you don't have a nightclub or a terabyte, or else you will not be able to even buy it at all. Other vehicles I'd personally say that is quite fun to pick up. The Hikuchi Drag is a quite fun vehicle to drive around with. The Autog has always to me been an interesting vehicle to drive too, because essentially it's the B version of the Wagner. Nowadays the Wagner is not really what it used to be in terms of how good it actually is, but it still could be an interesting car to drive if you're looking for something new. And of course, last but certainly not least, within these discounts, you should definitely pick up the Baddie 801 for 35% off, because a bike that is normally $15,000 definitely needed a discount, and I'm sure those people out there who didn't even have 10k to their name are rejoicing right now thinking, yes, I can finally buy a vehicle. It's a Baddie 801, it's a thing from 2013, and it's still one of the best bikes in the game. Anyways, moving on. Because the premium race this week is going to be across the wilderness locked off roads. Of course you want to be using a BF400 for this one if you want to win the race. The time trial for this week is LSIA, and the RC time trial for this week is construction site. Which means that all the RC time trials are now going to go into the first loop. We have already completed all of them that were available, and now we're going to start doing them once again. Which means that you're going to be familiar with them, and it should be even easier to earn that quick and easy 100k for both of the time trials. But with all that said and with all that done, that was it for this one. Thank you so very much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and I'll see you all later.